once again, I go back to my principle. When I look at any pattern in the Bible, I look at three sides of it. I look at the human side, I look at God's side, and look at the enemy side. That's a fact that folks don't look at. Now, when I looked at the Malachi account, it occurred to me that there must be something in the heart of God, because Malachi, we just take on the 3rd chapter and the 8th verse about tithing. Malachi had a string of corrections that he was bringing to the nation of Israel. How they dishonored God, how they are involved with divorce, and all of that stuff. And if you look at each of those things, there is a way it means something to God that they should not dishonor him. They should not encourage adultery or divorce. So if Malachi was correcting a string of things that were going on, and he now mentioned the tithe, that tells me that God thinks so much about the tithe that he will mention it. Now, before we get into the legality of whether or not they should do it, that tells me that the heart of God is he's not pleased with his people because they're not offering their tithes and offerings. Okay. That tells me straight away that I need to seek what that means to God's heart, okay, rather than take on. You see, because this whole debate is because some people are abusing it. Some people are using it wrongly, and I don't think we should throw the baby and the bathwater away. We can correct the abuse of certain things. We can correct the excesses that are going on in the body, but don't, for heaven's sake, throw the baby and the bathwater away. Because the principle is that God did not like... Listen, if you take the same principle of you commit adultery or you did that in the Old Testament, will it make it any less important?
No, but Mike... I
want
to answer to my question.
Okay,
please,
I'm sorry.
Please
I'm sorry.
answer my question.
That's why I told you.
I know, you're a wonderful preacher, and you're going to get there. But
I'm a foundation person, because if I say anything, if I say anything without building the foundation to it, you won't get the message clearly. Okay, so the answer is this. Yes, I do not agree with those who take that scripture and slam it on the New Testament church and say you are cursed. Why? Because Paul already told us we have been redeemed from the curse of the law. Okay. That's number one. Number two, I do believe, and I stand to be corrected, that the tithe should go to the storehouse. Storehouse in this context can be and should be the local church. Now, I'll be crucified for that, but I stand for that.
Okay, now, so you are correlating the storehouse in Malachi as the local church?
Yes, right, sir. Right. And then three, I believe that any act of obedience attracts a blessing. Abraham proved it when he offered Isaac in obedience to God. He said, now I know. Then the blessing. So I believe that there is an obedience that attracts a blessing. However, I believe that our true motivation for any giving should be our love for God and our love for humanity. Okay.